How long do you think the bus ride was?
That bus ride?
Yeah.
That was 4.5 hours.
That was 4.5?
Yeah.
It felt like 2.5. We are at Laugavegur, and we're heading over to the Mountain Mall hut to go check out what's inside. So when you get here, there are day campers, and in order to utilize the toilet, they have to pay. If you're on the Laugavegur Trail, then you don't have to pay. You could just go in and use the toilet facilities yourself. So that makes it super easy. And then in this direction is where we're going to be starting off. Let's roll. We are finally leaving the first base camp, climbing up the start of the trail. There's a lot of people at the Laugavegur. There must have been 200 people on those tour buses, 4 tour buses, and I think a 5th one came in when we were in the hot pool, the hot spring. We started at Laugavegur in the high season of July, and it was quite busy with the number of tourists and trekkers within this area. I would say about 50% were day hikers, and the other 50% were doing the actual Laugavegur Trail. The Laugavegur Trail is a 55-kilometer hiking trail that introduces you to astonishing diversity of landscapes, such as colorful rhyolite mountains, thermal pools, glaciers, and volcanic slopes carpeted in emerald green moss. The lava field consists of dark basalt ossified into strange formations and dotted with green moss. As you walk, you'll see evidence of geothermal activity, including steam rising from vents in the ground and puddles of bubbling mud. And you're eating some sort of power bar.
Yes, this is a Cliff Builder's bar. It's got 20 grams of protein, so at the end of this journey, I'm going to be jacked.
So some really breathtaking scenes to see here. I think this trail will lead us with mostly the trekkers who are going, and then down this direction, I think it's a lot of the day hikers who are taking the split on the trail end right here. And there are some really nice geothermal pools. Wow, those are some nice geothermal pools. Of course, with that smell of sulfur in there. Raventinisker. There it is. That's where we're going. Boom. Done.
Not whatever you say.
Yeah, the opposite of what I said. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. The opposite of what I said. The mountains and lava fields are the result of thousands of years of volcanic activity. The Laugavegur lava field, a wide expanse of jagged black obsidian, was formed after an eruption in 1477. One of the most memorable features of Laugavegur are the colorful rhyolite mountains. Rhyolite is a type of volcanic rock that is made of quartz and silica. Minerals such as iron and sulfur add extra color to the mountains. The first section of the Laugavegur Trail was quite simple. The weather cooperated with us, and it made it quite enjoyable to traverse the landscape until we got into the more mountainous areas towards Hafrnesker Hut, where I had to change my gear into more rain gear. Okay, so in front of us, there's going to be a glacial bridge that we need to get over. A snowpack bridge. So, Eric, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
Okay.
All geared up. Let's go.
All right, let's do this. So the big question you might be thinking to yourself, do I need any specialized footwear to traverse this snowpack? No, there's not. What you bring is going to be perfectly fine for what it is. It is pretty cold at the top here. We had to get all buttoned down. The wind was probably making the temperature more like 9 degrees. So we went from like 14, 13 degrees down to 9. And the wind and the rain, I'd say more like the mist, kind of forced us to get changed. So visibility is getting pretty poor up here. It's kind of foggy. Not like back in the valley. The Hafrnesker mountain is topped by a small, rapidly shrinking glacier, which offers a harsh, rocky, and remote environment. To the west of the mountain lies a significant active geothermal area, with much of the geothermal activity occurring beneath the ice. Here, the ground emits hot steam that melts the ice from below, forming intriguing yet perilous ice caves. On June 27, 2004, Ido Kainen, a 25-year-old Israeli hiker, tragically died during a severe snowstorm near Hafrnesker. Despite weather warnings from the wardens, Kainen attempted the hike but became disoriented and struggled to navigate the treacherous terrain, where he was overwhelmed by the cold and harsh weather and succumbed to hypothermia. That following summer, the Kainen family traveled to Iceland to place a memorial plaque. Right now it's at the top, it's pretty good. And it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we should be there by 5. And then we'll have some food. I've been eating those coconut chocolate biscuits. They're quite nice.
12 seconds later.
So we were wrong. In the distance there, you can see a couple of huts. And that's it. We were not 45 minutes away. We were more like 4 minutes away.
So we just got checked in on the building of my right here, and we're going to be going to room number 1 on the left-hand side here. So we're going to go check that out and get some chow. The mats on all the huts were in excellent condition but well used. They were comfortable with a sleeping bag, allowing one to forego needing to bring a sleeping mat if you booked at the huts. So Eric and I are all set up in our single bunk beds.
The next step is food.
So we got to go check out the kitchen. The kitchens at the huts are impressively well stocked, especially considering their remote locations. Upon entering, you'll find a variety of essential cooking tools and utensils neatly organized ready for use. The shelves are lined with pots and pans and selections of basic kitchenware, making it easy for hikers to forgo their own equipment. There's a reliable supply of fuel for the stoves, and excess boiled water is collected for communal use. The stove itself can be quite a challenge. You have to push in the turn dial and light it afterwards in order to get it to function properly. Okay, so I made a hearty beef stew. This is the first time trying one of these dehydrated packs. And Eric is eating his lasagna, his 3-cheese lasagna. On day 2, you'll depart from Hafranaska, initially descending into Laugavegur Mountains. This stretch offers panoramic views of the surrounding mountains and the vast Laugavegur Glacier. The obsidian Hafranasker is a type of volcanic glass that forms when lava cools rapidly, preventing the formation of crystals. The result is a smooth, glossy material that is usually black, although it can sometimes have shades of dark green or brown. In terms of footwear, I brought my Salomon X Ultra 3 light trail shoes, which I only noticed were soaked at the end of day 2, and were the first piece of equipment to dry out. These shoes are designed to be lightweight, offering excellent flexibility and breathability, which can reduce fatigue over long distances, however, have limited water-resistant properties. They are particularly suitable for well-maintained trails or when you're aiming for speed and agility. Hiking boots, such as what my buddy Eric is wearing, are generally considered the default choice for most hiking adventures. This is because they offer better ankle support, which is crucial when carrying heavy backpacks or traversing uneven, rocky, or slippery terrain. Hiking boots also provide superior protection against the elements, such as water, mud, debris, and typically offer better durability. On day 2, the weather was predominantly cloudy with occasional rain. Temperatures ranged from 2 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius throughout the day, with winds blowing at 29 to 40 kilometers an hour, and some gusts reaching up to 66 kilometers an hour. I would recommend an inner liner rather than a rain cover for your backpack. We saw a few trekkers whose bag covers flew off on the second day due to the strong winds of the area, causing their whole kit to be soaked. I had to tighten my buddy's bag cover multiple times on the second day to prevent it from flying off. As you descend into the Laugavegur area, the landscape shifts from barren highlands to lush green valleys, giving you an impressive vista view. Yep, I see it. I know some individuals who went barefoot and had no issues during the water crossings. I brought sandals and regretted it as the extra weight did not warrant it. I would have been fine without them, or with a pair of lightweight Crocs, for example. For my towel, I brought a small yellow light cloth that was fine for my purposes as it was lightweight and it dried out quickly. Trekking 15 kilometers a day was the perfect pace for me, allowing me to cover significant ground without feeling rushed or overly fatigued in comparison to the 30 kilometers a day we did on the Laugavegur Trail that caused back and feet issues after a few days. This distance gave me ample time to appreciate the scenery, take breaks, and enjoy the journey without pushing my limits too far. It also ensured that I arrived at camp with enough energy left to set up comfortably and unwind. For me, 15 kilometers a day made the trek both fulfilling and sustainable. We made a stop at Altavan Hut, which is found beside Lake Altavan. The hut features shared dormitory-style sleeping arrangements with bunk beds accommodating around 70 people. It has a communal kitchen equipped with gas stoves, cooking utensils, and dining tables where hikers can prepare and enjoy meals together. The hut also has a common area for socializing and relaxing after a long day on the trail. Outfitters provide equipment transportation from hut to hut, which we saw at Altavan Hut. Proper rain gear is essential. I invested in a new Patagonia rain jacket, which kept me dry throughout my trek, even though the outer layer absorbs some moisture. Gloves are a must for this trek due to the cold wind and rain. I also packed clear safety glasses to protect against the rain and strong winds. Hanquil Hut is a cozy, well-equipped mountain hut where it can accommodate up to 60 people with sleeping arrangements primarily in bunks. The hut is divided in two sections, one for larger groups and one for smaller groups or individual hikers. It features basic amenities, including a communal kitchen with gas stoves, dining areas, and indoor toilets alongside. While there is no electricity, it does have garbage collection from frequent garbage trucks making the journey. Mil de Jökull is a prominent ice cap located in southern Iceland, distinguished by its complex geological and geomorphological features. Covering approximately 596 square kilometers, this ice cap sits atop the active volcano Katla, which significantly influences its geological characteristics. The ice sheet is composed of a thick layer of ice that accumulates from snowfall, with its immense weight exerting pressure on the underlying volcanic terrain. Mil de Jökull's ice cap features extensive crevices, ice caves, and ice tongues that are shaped by both glacial movement and volcanic heat. The interaction between the ice hut and the underlying volcanic activity has led to a dynamic landscape characterized by deep valleys carved by glacial erosion, as well as the formation of unique landforms such as glacial moraines and meltwater rivers. In the Valley of the Dragons, you will trek past Hatfield Mountain, where a few dragons will be slumbering as you make your way across. Estra is a green oasis amidst the black sands, providing a serene camping spot surrounded by glacial rivers and steep cliffs. And our tent number one is way up there. So that's where we are for the night. We decided not to take a slot in one of the bunk beds because I think they seat like lay 4 people to a bunk bed. Yeah, you know what? Not for me. No. I think it's a 3-person tent. There's a vestibule. So let's go check it out. And inside, Oh, this zipper's broken. Zippers are broken. And there's like a big mat. So Emstra has a little cooking area, camping ground shelters. Let's go check it out. So inside we have a little cooking area. Woo! And that's where I'm gonna get set up. All of my cooking for today. Finally got my Soto working. It was just not lighting up. But after about, I'd say 30 pumps, I finally got it working. You can hear it there, pumping away, pumping out some gas. So tonight I'm going to be cooking some cheddar and broccoli sidekicks. Delicious. Mmm, so good, so good. And then I also have for dessert some vanilla peach crumble. Eric is in the tent and he's not feeling well. Thinks he's starting a cold. So unfortunately for him, he needs a little nap. So I just jumped the stream. There's one spot for this old man to jump over, which worked out really well. Heading down to Fremri Emstrua River, you will have a steep rocky descent where I had to use a single trekking pole to descend with in order to reduce the chance of rolling my ankle. Fremri Emstrua is a river from under Entijoko, a tongue of Merdajoko Glacier. It was bridged in 1978 by the Touring Club of Iceland and again in 1988 after the first footbridge was swept away in floods. So here is the first tree of Thornsmark. This is a very significant event because it tells you we are entering Thornsmark. Einhringur, or Unicorn Mountain, is a striking peak standing at about 750 meters. Its unique shape, reminiscent of a unicorn's horn, makes it a notable landmark. Unfortunately, this is false, as it's clearly a dragon resting, waiting to take flight to pick off the roaming sheep or lost trekkers. So we are on our way to Volcano Huts. We're only a few kilometers left to go to get there. And we're going to be spending one extra day there before we head off to the next part of our trek. I'm excited for it because they have a buffet. So we're going to have 2 meals of buffet, 2 breakfasts, and rest, recover before we head on to the trek. Finally, we have some trees. Look at all the trees. We're in like a little mini forest right now. Eric, I'm gonna ask the sheep for some directions. Meh, meh. Yeah, they said go down this way, Eric. So, Eric, how was the river crossing there?
It was cold and lots of current.
Oh, cold and lots of current. And you had to take off your pants
I did.
to cross because there's a couple of white caps forming. So it indicated to us that it was a challenge to cross. Would you say that you needed footwear to cross that one?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
And mostly because the current's pushing you around, you can end up stepping down pretty hard.
Yeah. So I think Crocs could do it, but you might lose one. I bet you in a group of like 10 people,
yeah,
one person's gonna lose one. Oh, look at all the trees, and they're scraggly. They're so scraggly, these trees. Wow. All right, 1.5 kilometers to Volcano Huts. All right. That's where we gotta go. Right up there. Oh, Eric, I hear people. I hear people at Volcano Huts. So we better get going there. There's a lot of food at the buffet that need to be eaten, and that's where we come in. Okay, so we just checked into Volcano Huts. Supper is open from 6 to 9 p.m. It's a buffet. It costs us $55 Canadian, or 5,500 krona. I asks day 6. We had to take an extra day at Volcano Huts because they've been calling for too much wind over the pass. So we are currently walking up the viewpoint, the lookout of a very popular trail. Okay, so we are in Thorsmark right now, and we've been actually waiting for 2 days to go through the pass because it's been closed. They removed the bridge so that travelers don't go up the pass because it's too windy, it's too dangerous. And lo and behold, the tractor is not working. So they can't put the bridge where it needs to be over the river for us to cross to get to the pass. The Fimmvörðuháls trail in Iceland is challenging with 1,000 meters of elevation. The hike is approximately 25 kilometers long and usually takes between 8 to 12 hours to complete, depending on the pace, weather conditions, and rest stops. After speaking with the warden and a short hike to assess the situation, we decided to forego doing the Fimmvörðuháls as planned and take the 2:30 p.m. Trex bus back to Reykjavik. A handful of hikers at the same time jumped on the bus to cross the river to start the Fimmvörðuháls hike, but we decided not to, as doing this hike later in the day meant we would have to arrive at Skogar after midnight, which neither of us wanted.